Hello everybody and welcome back to another replay cast. My name is sSak, and if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button and leaving a comment down below for the algorithm, I would really appreciate it. Bringing you guys Broodwar content just about every single day. I just finished off recording the SCSL round of 8 Rush versus Bishop there with Shun. It was a lot of fun, but left me wanting some more, so here I am once again, sat down at my computer, getting ready to cast some Broodwar for you guys. And what a matchup we have today. It's sSak versus SOO. I've been following SOO quite closely as of late, catching many of his previous series on the channel. Catching his little bit of a ladder adventure as he switches over from SC2 into Starcraft Broodwar. Certainly the superior game, but does it cultivate the superior players? Starcraft 2 players have been upping themselves in the rank. They've been slowly dominating, right? We've got Solkey, who's been dominating ASL. Rain was a big SC2 player as well. He is incredibly talented. We've got True now, aka BTS, and SOO is in the mix. MC is around. Been participating in SCS or in the ACS. There are so many StarCraft 1 hopefuls or StarCraft 2 hopefuls switching over to StarCraft 1. StarCraft 2, I guess, legends who have been switching over to StarCraft 1, hoping that they can have the same level of success in this far more popular game in Korea. If you guys didn't know, SC2 is basically dead in Korea. It's hardly supported at all anymore, and it's been left up to the community to kind of source it, to take care of it and make it into something that's worth watching. And pretty much everybody has switched over to StarCraft 1, favoring this game instead, which is far more beloved in the streaming community and in the community as a whole there in Korea. And so we're in an awkward time. We're in an interesting time where the original is kind of outpacing and outdoing the predecessor, or excuse me, the successor. Predecessor is succeeding over the predecessor. No, excuse me. The predecessor is succeeding over the successor. My goodness. Having a hard time getting that one out. You guys can make fun of me in the comments if you desire. We have a +1 build coming here out of sSak, whatever you want to call him. We'll see what kind of player we get out of this guy today. Is it going to be sSuk today, or is it going to be sSak, or is it going to be sSak? Hopefully we'll get some decent games out of him as SOO moves into a 2.5 hatchery play and threatens in the front, just kind of checking out what's going on here. He made an initial 4 lings, pretty standard stuff, and he's checking to see how many Marines are being produced behind this wall. He should see the Marines here and rightly assume that it's going to be some sort of attacked play. Probably this +1, but you can never be too careful. Bringing the lings up to the front here, making sure that he has full information over that area. You can see he's got a pretty good handle on what's going on here. Of course, you could be hiding Marines over on the side from a second racks and just keeping them kind of out of vision, hoping to surprise your opponent. That's why this sunken colony is there. He's already got that creep colony built. And so if there was suddenly way more Marines than he was expecting, he could easily build this and then set down another creep colony and he would be fine. But as it stands, he doesn't really need to do so. I expect this to get canceled here in a moment as he sees that this is not moving across the map. Let's see if he cancels. There it is. He does get the cancel off. 5 minute 30 has passed, and so there's no real way of sSak making his way across the map and actually dealing any damage before these mutas come out and potentially just run over this bioforce. sSak just going to stay back at home, wait for these extra barracks to come online and start to get his turret ads going. A very standard beginning to this game. We'll see if things start to get chaotic as the Mutalisks hit. This can be a bit of a tough main base to cover. You can see the turret coverage here. We've got a turret over by the barracks. This turret is kind of out in the wind. Not a lot of support for that turret there. And then you've got to put turrets over on this side to protect this gas. And of course, these important buildings over in the top left. So we'll see as the mutas come in if he's able to poke and prod this Terran player out of position. That turret should be the main focus. If I'm playing Zerg here, I'm definitely looking at that turret, thinking there may be a point of weakness there. It looks like a few lings have been cleaned up at the edge. Come in for some kills now. Nice control so far. Does lose one Mutalisk. Kind of an unnecessary loss there, but he's going to eat that and continue on forward. Starts a base, kind of an unorthodox third base location. See, the +1 is now done. +1 armor is on the way. +1 attack for these Mutalisks is coming up here in a moment. Ooh, another Muta goes down for free there. SOO showing the greatest Mutalisk control, even against sSak, who's not really well known for his MM control. Much more of a mech user. Still a little bit better than Mong, I think. A little bit stronger than Mong when it comes to this MM play. But that's not saying much. Gonna loop around with these mutas. Oh gosh, this muta does need to get into the stack. He's almost got enough to overwhelm this, but he's going to be making some sunken colonies that is natural. Playing it a little bit safe here as he starts his transition. Can he surround and kill the rest of this bioforce? Or not moving back? Eventually sSak is going to lose this. That's a lot of bio waiting in the natural. It just hasn't been brought to the fore. You need to combine these armies and keep combining them if you want to keep this bio group large and in charge, keep control of the map. Lings are going to be out here now. This is definitely the cleanup force meant to deal with this bio detachment. Looks like he's going to try and focus down a couple of mutas. He gets 1 or 2, and the Lings will clear out the rest. More Lings moving forward here with the mutas. It's very important to spread out and make sure that there's no small contingent of Marines moving around the side in order to hit this force here, or this base down at bottom center. And so he will do that. Look at him. He's checking everywhere. Let's see if there's any Marines out here on the map. He sees that there are none, and he's got some nicely placed Lings to actually catch this bot force. Oh my goodness, look at that. Bio slips right through that hole in the vision. It's crazy. Meanwhile, diving in here, getting some kills, picking off some turrets. Does he have enough Sunkens back at home? He's completely missed this. Oh my god, SOO completely misses this attack coming across the map, and I think it's just going to kill him as well. Yeah, he is dead. Oh man, this is a horrible way to go out. But he completely missed that tiny bit of vision. We saw the two Lings that were side by side there, with a tiny sliver of missing vision, is going to cost him this game most likely. All the Marines are going to go down, but the mutas are in such low number now. Even with the rallies popping in. He had 11 going into the fight, and some rallies popped out. Now he's got 6. 6 Mutalisks left. The rallies here from sSak should be able to clear out everything. SOO most likely going to lose this first game. 33 drones are left, and he still has the hatchery. How far along is he in lurkers? Okay, he's got lurkers coming, and he does have the hive, but he doesn't have Defiler Mound. He may just tap out right here. this bioplay is going to get even more hard to handle as the starports start to kick in. That irradiate's going to come out here soon. He has stayed on very low number of SCVs, so sSuk is pretty reliant on this push doing some good work. You can see he is starting to build SCVs again, and so we'll go up into a higher count and potentially double expand behind this, but he is kind of reliant on doing some damage. He's going to run forward here with the mutas and lings. Takes a pretty reasonable trade. The lurkers are going to burrow here, but a great split. Oh my gosh, the split is too good. These lurkers are not going to do well enough. They get completely wiped out, and now there's nothing back at home in the natural aside for some lurker eggs. Does turn around and heads back home, though. sSuk going to take a little break. There it is. GG, though. He taps out. SOO just going to let it go here, knowing what a bad spot he's in. Going to go into game number 2. Hopefully he can find a better position and play a little bit of a stronger game for us. Let's jump into that second one. All right, sSuk in that last game had a 488 APM. Pretty crazy. A little bit more than what's truly necessary. You can see right now 480 APM from SOO, but this is just the beginning of the game when he's spamming a lot of keys. You'll see that kind of drop down a little bit later. Around 350 is where most pro players kind of stand. Players like Speed might be around 400 or 450 APM. Average, something like that. Maybe a little bit lower, but 488, kind of an impressive APM to average during a game, although MMM is one of the most taxing ways to play, especially when you're going for such a high barracks count and slamming out so many Marines. It really does take a lot of actions to get everything moving and to keep that production rolling. Once again, we're going to have a 12 hatchery here from SOO. Now on Eclipse, he sent a 9 drone across the map. This is a play that I really do enjoy. I like to go for this 9 drone. You can sometimes get a kill on an SCV. You can draw SCVs off the line, and you can just see, are you 8-raxing me? Are you going for a tech play? What is the plan here? Now that he can see that there's a wall, he can start to formulate an idea of what he wants to do as a follow-up to this. He's going to put a lot of damage on this SCV. In fact, he might get it. Oh, barely got out of the range of that. Still 10 HP. That's only 2 hits. 1. Can he get it? Ring around the rosy time. He's going to be able to get this kill. It's so close. 1 more hit. He might be able to. Putting a lot of effort into this, but you can see they're both hitting their builds in behind this, trying to run through the mineral line to get some momentum to draw the drone back. He's going to go around again. Not quite able to get that SCV, and a Marine will be out here shortly. Okay, there's the Marine, actually. So he's wasted a bit too much time here. Make the gas? Okay, he will make the gas. Cancel? No, he's going to let that go. Gas is going to continue on here, going up to 12 drones. With more in production, 13 supply, making a gas is a little bit unorthodox. We may see the 3rd base, and indeed we will. 3rd base going to be taken now over at that 3rd, and not entirely unexpected. This is, of course, Eclipse, which has kind of birthed the modern Defiler Hydralisk style. And that's probably what we're going to see here as well. With the lateness of this gas, the Mutilist time is just not going to be there. It's probably going to be around 7 minutes, I'd say, especially with the 2 racks play. Goes ahead and starts that gas. 2 racks is going to be able to come across the map pretty darn quick. About 5 minutes. We're going to see that moving across the map. Maybe 4-minute 40, something like that. Because he has been delayed in this gas. He might move out with pure Marine. And we're going to need a lot of sunken colonies on the Zerg side of things to hold that back. Trying to get a kill on this Overlord. He's actually wasting some time on the build time of the build time of this barracks. Wow, I can't believe that Marine can almost reach there. He should be able to get this now. Oh my god. 4 HP. Oh, wow. That little baboon butt scurrying over into the corner. The close-up shot of the Overlord. An absolute staple of the Saiyan SC cast. That's probably the most traumatic life of an Overlord we've seen for a while. Maybe the closest shave this guy has ever gotten, Overlord has ever gotten. Just a little off the top, turned into almost all the HP from that first scouting unit. He's going to keep it alive for now. He brings it forward to just check the mineral saturation here. Best he can do in circumstances like this. Don't want to be floating over here again in case of losing that. And you can see the Marines moving out. We've got sunken colonies on the way, of course. Triple sunken is necessary here. Anything less would be a little bit risky. Just 2 sunkens for now is scaring me a bit. 2 sunkens on the high ground here. That's appropriate, but only 2 in the natural. Is he going to die to this? Surely not. I guess with the 6 lings and speed, he should be okay. 6 lings and speed will be just barely enough to keep him alive if this group of Marines tried to run in. Now gonna add on the 3rd sunken colony there. Being as greedy as possible and cutting it as close as he can. A bunch of Overlords pop. As the Spire finishes, a Mutalisk transition is gonna come in now. Few Mutalisks being made here. Back at home, factory got started really nice and early. We may be seeing a pretty quick tank push out of SOC to take control of the game here. No, he actually lifts off. Is he going to go double starport? That would be a little shocking to me, because the big problem with this build is you need to get this hive going as soon as possible. You're going to have a very late Mutalisk play. And he's only building 1 star, but what am I seeing right now? What am I looking at? I think he's struggling to get the turrets down is the problem right now. Gonna float this factory forward. Is he gonna land it? Build an add-on? I thought he'd be a little quicker with this. However, I guess more important to get the turrets going. Still, it seems like this Mutalisk play is so slow. There's not going to be a whole lot of damage that can be done with how many Marines are present and available. Only 1 turret in the main base is a little bit risky. There's the 2nd starport floating factory. I wasn't expecting this, but okay. Looks like we're going to see SOC just get directly into vessels and start to irradiate everything. And he's just going to try to trade as best he can as the transition is happening here into Hydralisk Defiler. I personally, I like the idea of getting that super fast factory so that he can do a 3 tank push and try to hit right before the Defilers are done, but maybe he thought that window was just a little bit too tight in a situation like this. Because that's the type of thing that I hate to see. Nice snipe on the medic, by the way. When I'm the Zerg player trying this build, when the Terran player just goes immediately into a tank push and just starts hitting those sunken colonies, and of course, you've got some lurkers back there, you just don't quite have Defiler yet. That's what really frustrates me, but it seems like he's not got that same idea in his head. Instead, pushing up towards this natural. He's thinking about getting that Overlord. He does manage to pick it off. Armor upgrade on the way here. SOO is looking very good at this point, I would say. Lurker's going to start to pop out. He can really drone hard. He will be able to get a Nidus Canal going here shortly. Defiler's mound is on the way. You can even make a little egg wall at the top of this ramp, which pretty much makes it impossible for the Terran player to break that position. Going across here now, a dive in to kill the science vessel would be kind of insane, but it would also be a fantastic win for SOO if he was able to get that first science vessel. Like I was saying, it's not the tank push that's coming. It's more of a tempo play, what we're seeing out of sSak, to just get very early vessels and then start irradiating everything really early on. You can see now, going to start to stack these lurkers. He knows that the potential is there for those irradiates now. And he's got a nice position to stack. He can just right-click this sunken colony, and he can right-click this sunken colony from this side to get them into a nice stack. I really like that setup, actually. I might have to copy that. One way that you can get lurkers to stack is by hitting patrol and then clicking on the other lurker, and they will walk over, and then you just need to press burrow at the right time. Getting an overlord over here to hover this lurker pothole, making sure that that's not easy to click on. And in fact, he might need to irradiate the overlord first in order to get rid of that and get a clear irradiate on that lurker. Let's see, 2 lurkers there, 2 lurkers there. Playing it a little bit tight here. SOO has his mutas on the other side of the map. Not sure if there's going to be any drop ships coming out. Not so far. Just looking for irradiates. See, he will have to irradiate that overlord. And immediately sending up more overlords to try. Oh! Wait, how did he get that vessel? That's crazy. Very good control there. Very good control there. Oh, he didn't hold position the overlord, though. That's a bit of a mistake. You'd like to hold position the overlord so it stays and defends the lurker pothole for as long as possible. In this case, sSak was able to get a irradiate here on this lurker, and so lowering that to just 1 lurker makes it a little bit dangerous. Nice job getting on top of these marines that were trying to cover the 3rd. That CC is floating over now, and so a lot of attention has to be brought to this area in order to get this 3rd base online. sSak gonna bring up the tank push now, but it's not so much a push. It'll probably just be a bunch of tanks getting spread out here. He's even adding a 2nd factory, so it's time to really start the preparation to deal with these Hydralisk Defiler plays that are going to be coming up. SCV on the backside. These mutas are getting a lot of good damage here. Surprisingly good damage for this late in the game. When it comes to those mutas, they're generally just kind of hatched out at this point. Not really able to do much. Here we go. Stim over to this side. Oh, he wants to get rid of some Scourge there. Not a bad plan. These can be made into lurkers, though. These Hydras, which have been... Oh, this is not a Hydra. That's a Defiler. Pretty good at Irradiate there, but not as good of Irradiates as I think he was looking for. Both players charging up and getting bigger and bigger economies at the moment, but it's almost time for SOO to start moving forward. You can see he's got the Scourge out here now. Where is the Defiler with the Dark Swarm? There's the Dark Swarm. Hydra's going to push forward. Should have Plague available as well, but he's not able to cast any Plagues. Does manage to get one of those vessels there on the escape. And has the mutas back at home now. Having the mutas back here, probably not as good of a move. I think I would like to see those mutas go over to a 4th base and just try to deny something like that. This is the most important part of this game. How is the move out going to be with the first few Defilers and all of these lurkers before he starts to go pure Hydralisk and Zergling with a few Defilers mixed in? He's got a lot of lurkers to work with right now, but they're starting to dry up. Their radiates are really taking their toll. And I haven't seen any decent plagues so far. There's Metasynaptic Node coming online, and the mineral income is starting to really stack up. Let's take a look at the upgrades here. I think that's +2 on the way. Yeah, +2 is on the way. +2 armor is done. +3 armor can't really be afforded right now. Going after the Defiler. Very close to getting that Defiler kill there. super annoying if he loses that right at this critical moment. Like I was saying, the first couple of pushes forward are going to be the most important. If he fails completely to take some map control and put some threats out on the map, things are going to get really dangerous for him. Oh, Defiler moving forward. It looks like it's almost going to get caught. It does manage to survive, though. Oh, running after this Defiler. Can he actually get it? Oh, not quite. Defiler does survive. 28 HP. It's like some science vessel's going to come forward here. Marines are going to get completely minced. These Mutalisks are going to have a hard time here. Army pushing forward. There's only one lurker now. Counterattack as the fourth base likely to go down at this point. Can he actually make some progress? That's a lot of tanks in the back line all set up. Spread Marines here are not going to stand much of a chance. He throws down a Dark Swarm pretty early on. There's the Irradiate to try and deal with that. Hydra's got to push forward here, get on top of the tanks, kill all of these would be the best possible scenario. Kill every tank here on the left-hand side. That's what he's got to do right now. Killing the vessels, of course, is amazing as well, but getting rid of that tank count is a huge win. Is it a big enough win, though? Now that the fourth base has been denied, I'm not so sure. Not so sure that that was a big enough win here for SOO. He's got another Defiler at the front. Triple 5 tanks now in the natural. So I don't think he's going to be able to bust through that. He's going to give it a try, though. Lurker's running forward here. Lurker on the left-hand side. That's going to be sacrificial. He's too busy paying attention over on this side. He will burrow this Lurker. No, the Lurker killed right before he gets underground. Marine's going to run forward here, trying to target those down, maybe? Okay, never mind. On the high ground here, still shelling. A few of these supply depots will go down, but SOO is running out of momentum, guys. I know how this goes. I've played this style quite a bit myself. Can he get a plague? Okay, he does get a plague out of that at the very bare minimum. At least getting that plague down was critical. So now he can actually clear out this Bioforce on that side. He won't have... Oh, gosh. I really don't like him fighting up high ground here against Marines and Medics, though. This is going to go super poorly. And, in fact, you will have to back away at the end of that fight. Ooh, that hurts. +3 attack is done now. Is that what I just saw? No, I think he just canceled it. He needs money. He doesn't have the funds to keep that going. Okay, wait. Did he cancel it and start it again? That's strange. I'm not sure, guys. Level 3 Carapace on the way, though. Very important upgrade. Got 3-1 over here for the Terran. Cutting through these Lings and Lurkers, Hydras like it's nothing. Here we go. Plague, Dark Swarm. He should have enough for both. Does not. Double Dark Storm kind of in the same position here, but he's getting underneath the Marines. Not too bad. Will get some of these vessels. Not pulling back the vessels enough. SOC making a big mistake there. Really should have pulled back the vessels all the way to the safety of the Marines. Loses about 3 or 4 vessels in a very short span of time. He's busy focusing on producing tanks right now, so vessels are very important. Let's see how many factories. Got 1, 2, 3 factories so far, none other on the map. And he is getting plus, what is this, +2 attack? +1. +2 attack on the way. That's very nice. That +2 attack really changes things. Makes these... it makes it so much harder for the Lurkers to run forward under Dark Swarm and get into any sort of a good position. We'll be getting enough energy for another Plague, sending out small contingents of army along these different pathways. He's still got an army down here in bottom right, making sure that that cannot be taken. Vessel running forward. Can he get this vessel kill? Not going to be able to get it. Killing off the last few vessels is so good. It's crazy. It makes such a big difference because then your Defilers can move so much more cleanly. You can get right up into the front with the Defiler and start to put down Dark Swarms on the tanks, that sort of thing, unless the tanks are targeting down your Defiler, of course. Then it gets a little hard. A lot of the tanks are moving over towards this top left in anticipation of a move in that direction. Wants to go for the kill on this Defiler. If he gets this Defiler, that could be really big. Need that Defiler for the defense of this base. He is going to get it. Very painful stuff right there for sSuk. Really needs to throw down some Dark Swarms here. If he's going to go for a counterattack on the other side of the map, that is 100% necessary. You absolutely have to keep a Defiler active on this side to prevent the army of tanks and Marines from just bowling you over while that counterattack is being focused over towards the third or the natural. These are some great positions. Look at that. No fire bats in there, but that's still so nasty. 4 Marines and 2 tanks on high ground with the tanks tucked behind this doodad. How are you ever going to get up there with Hydras to kill those tanks? Lings either. Not a lot of defenses over at the natural, though. Maybe there's an option there for sSuk to break that position. Wow, that is some range, boys. Look at that range on the tank. He even hit the lurker from there. How crazy is that? That is some crazy range displayed by the tank, but it is the case that the range looks smaller than it is when you're on the diagonal. Or it looks, yeah. It looks smaller, but it is definitely a lot longer than it looks. Marines getting taken down here. They're not going to stand much chance against the Lings and Hydras brought forth. The Hydras are going to be sent in to die. Unfortunately, sSuk starting to fall apart a little bit here. He hasn't been able to counterattack. He hasn't been able to get down to bottom right either. And there are more and more Irradiates coming down. I just feel like sSak is outdoing him completely and totally at this point. It's a very difficult to pull off build, the Hydralist Defiler. There's a lot of mechanics that go into it. And there's a lot of ways that the Terran can abuse you. Just like this, you know, Hydras are trying to push forward. Lurker's got to get under here to push back the Marines. And now the Marines are going to fall back. And the tanks can continue to fire the entire time that play was taking place. He's going to go ahead and push forward again. But there's an Irradiate for that Defiler. He has to make another Defiler. He's starting to run out of money. You can see depleted guys are here. Depleted in the natural as well. Main base is out of money. Third base, only 700 gas. He really desperately needs this gas geyser. He just doesn't have Defilers here to help. This Defiler is having a hard time moving forward into position. We're going to have another Irradiate here on another Defiler. Dark Swarm needs to be thrown down. Can he get it into a good enough spot? He's going to run forward with all of these Hydras. Try to get on top of this amount of tanks, though, is pretty scary. He is getting up here and doing some damage, but only one Lurker to hold the line behind all this. And the tank count has been steadily growing. The vessel count as well. Doesn't matter how many Marines you kill at this point. When the tank count is this high in the background, you're going to have a bad time. Trying to switch into chitinous plating and adding on melee attacks, I just don't think that's going to cut it, guys. Going up against the tanks with +3 attack, or +2 attack, soon to be +3. You need to get on top of it like this with cost-efficient units, and looks like he will actually break this. Now, with the Marines being gone and the vessels backing away, not being part of this fight, that was pretty good. That was actually very good for sSuk. sSuk got a great trade there at the end of that fight, killing off a massive number of tanks and forcing back sSak for the time being. However, sSak is on even bases, and this drone is just never going to find a place to land under these circumstances. A lot of Lurkers here. No Defilers in sight. There's the Defiler coming up now. He's going to get a plague on this. All right, he manages to hit four of these units. Target down the plague vessels if you can. A lot of these Lurkers are going to die. Look at that. 4 Lurkers die in a heartbeat. All of this gas that was just spent by sSuk, who's absolutely running out of gas here. He's got almost none left. has just gone down the toilet. That was like 8 lurkers, something like that. All of them just died to a bunch of irradiates. That's just pure energy from the Terran player. Really spending next to nothing to make that happen, but managing to get a huge amount of value. Army finally pushing down to the bottom right. Meanwhile, counterattack coming through the center. Is there a Defiler? He's got to consume. Get a consume off. A couple of consumes and a plague is what he absolutely needs right now, but he's dealing with Terran on too many fronts at this point. Going for the plague here. Yes, he does manage to get it. Is it going to be enough, though, to hold the line? Hydra's coming forward. Looks like he will be able to stop that army on this side. Army on this side as well as tanks push forward here, sieging up within range of the 4th base. This has got to be it, guys. We're going to see Sue pop out here in a moment. A reasonable attempt from Sue to play Hydra Defiler here on Eclipse, but completely outdone by SOC. This is not like game number 1 where SOC got kind of a free win for slipping in between the vision, and it was just, you know, a little bit of missed opportunity from Sue not spotting that army moving across the map. This game is not that case. This game was pure ownage by SOC. He just built the tank count necessary. He immediately recognized what was coming. Didn't go for lotto ships. Wasn't going to be risky with a tank push or with any sort of drop play. Instead, just played very solid SK Terran with tank in support and crushed the attempts here of Sue to move forward on any of his positions and hold this base over in the center left. Very good game from him, but we've got more to come, guys. It's not over. Let's jump into our next one. All right, moving along in the series, we've got SOC down here in the bottom left-hand corner, Sue in the top left. Having a bit of a hard time, Sue, so far in his ladder adventure. Struggling to keep up with this Terran player, who has shown some moments of brilliance here and there over the past year. Has also shown some rather unfortunate mistakes and overconfidence, I'd say. We've seen some moments where SOC looked unbeatable, and then other moments where he looks like he kind of beats up on himself and makes things easy for his opponents. So far, he's been playing very solid. And so in the comfort of his own home with no one watching and just laddering by himself. Maybe he's on stream or something like that, but I haven't actually seen any streams from SOC. It seems like basically everybody streams these days, but I'm not sure if that's the case for him. He may be just in his element, talking to the stream, relaxed, doesn't need to think too hard and just hit his build, and maybe that's where he excels when it comes to tournament play. And he's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders. From what we've seen, at least lately, it seems that he tends to crumble a bit, puts too much thought into certain things, and not into the fundamentals of what makes Terran strong. I'm just thinking of the times that he's thrown leads that he really didn't need to throw, and the games that he should have been able to win. But if you guys have been following the channel for a while, if you've been watching SCSL as well, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Again, another shout out to my own channel and that subscribe button, guys. Please show me some love. I'm on vacation right now in Canada, but as soon as I get back, we're going to be doing a lot of streaming once again. We're going to be putting out games basically daily. I'm trying to work out a deal for something to replace the SCSL as well. Or not the SCSL, excuse me, the SDS. But it's proving far more difficult than I would have ever expected. We'll see if I can put something together, though, guys. I'm negotiating with certain people. I won't go into all the details yet, but I may be putting out the details on that pretty soon. We'll see. Talking about it publicly is generally not the right way to go. But at a certain point, things get a little bit overwhelming, a little bit ridiculous. You kind of gotta talk about it. Anyway, I'm gonna hold off on that for now, and hopefully we can come to some sort of fair agreement where we can put something together similar to the SDS if the SDS doesn't come back in a big way. I'm looking forward to that, though, and you guys should be too. Let's get into this game. We've got +1 upgrade on the way once again for SOC. 2.5 hatch here from SOO, who has opted to make about 6 lings, 2 more than would be usual, and a little bit more than he could have maybe otherwise gotten away with, but it's fine. Just 1 drone less in the build for now. And he's taking some liberties elsewhere. You can see he starts the creep colony ahead of time. This is just in case it's a 2 racks play, but from what he can see here and the fact that the 2 racks timing has kind of passed, he should know that it's not necessary to have a creep colony here. We'll just be hitting his build from this point on. The scan that goes ahead and reveals the spire. He's going to start to move forward. He really wants to try and force him to build another sunken colony. I don't think that SOO will bite. There is that possibility. Just moving to the forward here to the 4. See if he can force any sort of response. Nothing here from SOO so far. And he will float that barracks back up into the main base. +1 4 racks is looking strong. It's a very solid build. If you're a Terran, it's definitely not the easiest build to pull off. If I was going to recommend to one of you Terran players a good ZV or TVZ build to start with, probably this one's not it. Maybe a mech build, maybe a Goliath build is something that will give you a little bit more success and have you feeling a little bit more comfortable in the matchup, a little bit faster. This one is pretty tough to pull off. Requires quite a lot of adaptations depending on how the Zerg player is trying to play, and quite a lot of APM in order to keep this defense solid. You can see he's dropped quite a bit, 300 APM here only, the 480 of SOO, but as the Marine medic balls start to come out here in larger and larger numbers, likely he is going to start spamming those keys a lot more. You got to hit these macro rounds, make sure that you're pumping out everywhere. Dive through now for SOO. He's got 7 Mutalisks, but they're getting a bit low. Can he fly through the back here and not lose anything while taking out a couple SCVs? 1 Mutalisk goes down. A lot of these are now softened, and so the 3rd base is under threat. It's a little bit of a scary spot right now for SOO. He's gonna make triple sunken colony at the natural. Only, oh boy, yikes. Goes ahead and loses another muta. Almost loses a 3rd muta there. We'll manage to maintain it. We'll manage to keep it alive. Bio ball heading towards top right, and SOO isn't tracking that right now. He's kind of lost it. It's lost in the sauce. It's lost in the big open map in the middle. And SOO is now kind of desperately trying to find this. Where did it go? Bit of hide and seek here with these Marines as they head towards bottom right. You can see he's spreading out everywhere with the Lings, hoping to just catch a little view on those Marines and where they ended up. In fact, he will probably see these combining back at home, and that's now a very big bioforce. You can see Lurker upgrade has just started. SOC may be able to force a Big round of sunken colonies here at the front. You need like 5 sunken colonies to stop this, I think. Medic goes down. Some Marines are going to fall at the periphery. Lings here. What about out of their element? Don't really have anything to attack right now. He's trying to get on top of this. Can he actually kill this force that's trying to assist? Yeah, it looks like he manages to wipe that out, but at the same time, only 3 sunken colonies is not enough to keep him alive here. All right, as I say that, more Lings pop out, and looks like the Mutas are going to make their way back. Marines here. Gonna back away. I think he can actually wipe this out. Now that he's engaged and pulled back, SOO should be able to clear out this Bioforce. I was worried for SOO. I've been in a situation like this many a time. But the triple sunken colony, although I said it was probably not going to be enough, turns out to be just barely what he needed to keep himself alive there. These Lings are not doing very well with the angle there of attack. Not able to get a great surround, but in the end, he does clear out that Marine medic. Very good engagement there from SOK to get maximal value that he could out of that. Still, SOO clearing out that attack has given him a lot of breathing room. You can see able to hit a big round of drones, has his 3rd gas already mining, and a Nidus Canal going to be connecting to top right here very soon. We have some vessels popping out in just a moment. They're not the fastest vessels ever. And Irradiate is not to be here before some Defilers can reach the front. Probably going to have Defiler with Consume ready to go at that front position before any Irradiate can come. He's already going to start hitting the science facility. Unfortunately, that finished the Irradiate upgrade a little bit ahead of the time these Mutas start to deal that damage, and so that will be finished. Pretty decent damage here from the Mutas overall, but they're going to be forced back now, and with very limited HP, probably going to be on defensive duty in the main. Interesting to see Titan Reactor coming out here so quickly for SOK, getting that upgrade going right away. I would like to see the Mutas rotate around and try to stop the bases from coming up, because forcing Marines to sit up on top of this ramp in order to keep this CC alive actually limits what you can do here as the Terran player, because you're heavily reliant on the bio, and if you force reinforcements to come down here and keep on protecting this 3rd, put yourself in a pretty good position. Gonna try to get all the lurkers stacked up. Looks like he's managed to do it successfully. Only 1 lurker is gonna get irradiated, and then he's gonna have the Overlord over top before the 2nd lurker can be irradiated as well. Has some Scourge here. Very good play out of our Zerg player. Can you even touch this? I don't think you can. I don't think you can click that. Yeah, I don't think you can click that. Pretty good stuff from Soma, or from SOO, excuse me. We'll be casting some more Soma games here shortly, so stay tuned for that. I've really been enjoying Soma's rise, or his kind of resurgence into the scene. Was that drops I saw? Yes, drops are on the way. Getting a little bit desperate, perhaps. SOK gonna start making dropships. A little bit of lotto ship action. I love the Overlord spread here in the main. This is something that I've been getting more used to. Spreading out these Overlords like this. I have Overlord here, Overlord there. I'm gonna have an Overlord like there, and one there, and one there, to make sure that you can see. You gotta have one over here too, maybe some over there as well. You just want to see if your opponent is coming in with the dropship a little bit ahead of when they actually get into the base. You need that reaction time. That reaction time is so key. So important for the defense. A lot of You got the Defilers. You've got the Scourge here ready to go. He really wants to get in there and kill that Defiler. You will get the Defiler, but loses 2 vessels for that. Darkstorm goes down. Another Darkstorm here next to the Spire. Oh, he gets a dropship as well. That's huge. A lot of fire bats in this attack. Can he actually stop this? Lurkers are going to be popping out here, but that's a lot of bio in that corner, and the Defiler's mound is being targeted. Does he start a Defiler before that goes down? He hasn't yet. He's going to bring forward the Mutas here. Can he actually target down the Defiler's mound? He hasn't at this point. Lurker here in the mix. A lot of Lings. He finally does get the Defiler's mound. That has been killed. All these Lings are going to go down as well. Oh my gosh, and another load up. Back at home, a bunch of Scourge are going to pop through, but dude, the Scourge are heading in the wrong direction. They need to be down here. Scourge went in the completely wrong direction. He will get both of the drops here, but the Nidus Canal is wide open for attack, and these Bio Forces are still alive. You've got to be kidding me. Oh, this is so frustrating. If he went after the Nidus, I believe that this is just a straight up win for sSak, but he doesn't. Instead, going after some of these tech buildings and the hatchery, taking a lot of HP damage. He will be taking down this Evolution Chamber as well. Evolution Chamber so low. This Firebat with 9 kills. Killing so many drones right there. The Spire is likely to go down as well. Chaos. Absolute chaos. Another drop over here at the natural as well, guys. Oh my goodness. 22 workers left. This was a very well executed attack from sSak. He got a lot of damage going here, and in the meantime managed to get his 3rd base up and operational. Yeah, gotta give it to him. This was very impressive play from the Terran player from sSak, who tends to, you know, here and there he has hard time. Today he's looking extremely strong. D-Matrix run past the Lurker. No change in the target fire there for Stu, and he's going to throw down the Dark Swarm, but almost loses both of these Lurkers before he's able to get that down. Going to walk forward, try to throw down a Plague. Not going to happen. Scourge here, looks like they're going to get some of these vessels. Oh, gets 2 vessels there. A drop into the main, though. Oh my gosh, drops into the main again. He's going after the Defiler. Looks like he's going to throw down Darkstorm here. Bring the Lurkers up to play, but as long as sSak keeps moving, he should be able to get the gas. Gas is probably going to be forfeit here. Another stim. All of these Marines are on 1 HP. Is going to have to consume again to get another Darkstorm to finally deal with this. Meanwhile, another D-Matrix over at the 4th base. This is too much to handle. Sue's trying to get down this ramp, but the eggs are really hurting him here. Lurkers are finally going to get down and start to burrow. He will be forced back, but another round of Irradiates goes down. Sue is absolutely on the edge of his seat now. Butt clench moment here as he's barely hanging on. Barely hanging on to this game. Doesn't have anything to stop this dropship. 1 Scourge would be enough. He doesn't have it. And so the Marines will be able to pop out. Firebat here as well. Drone's got to make another evacuation. It's getting really rough. 3 more units going into the main as well. That 1 Lurker might just be able to handle things. But the Firebat getting huge kills here. 7 kill Firebat. All of a sudden, killing a bunch of drones, dropping him down to 39. Double Evolution Chamber is going to be thrown down because he is in a World of Hurt. +1 is all he has at the moment. And we've already got +3 attack. There are battle cruisers on the way. In fact, triple battle cruisers coming here. sSak is not letting this game get away from him. From this point on, he's going to be putting massive pressure onto this Zerg player and forcing every bit of gas into those Scourge. Just deal with the drops and the battle cruisers that are going everywhere, the vessels that are constantly harassing him. We haven't seen an Eraser yet, but that is definitely a factor to watch out for. Eraser trick could be coming in here at any moment. Battlecruiser is probably going to be sent to the main, or sorry, the natural. And so these will be hitting the natural here soon. These overlords, which are meant for spotting, are actually going to be sacrificial now. Great Plague there, finally getting something to go right. Does get a good Plague on that front. Oh, no. The drop gets in. You've got to be kidding me. Again, a drop slips past. And this dropship with only 14 HP. Oh, wow. These firebats underneath the Dark Swarm. Again, getting massive, massive damage. Killing a lot of these drones and resetting, more importantly, resetting SOO's position. So he's going to have a hard time. Oh, these vessels are so free. Oh, it's so hard to see. Triple vessel there with nothing defending it. Could have easily been killed by a single Hydra, Muta, or whatever. Dark Swarm here at the front. Last hoorah here for SOO as he tries to keep his base alive. Can he, though, maintain this position? No, the base goes down, and that's got to be it. SOO is going to have to tap out here as this base falls. He was struggling to maintain 4 base mining for such a long time against the chaos that sSak has brought to him this game. Looks like some Marines are going to make their way up into the main base now. And is going to start to target down these Lings. Just doing such good trades against these Lings who's still on +1 armor, guys. They've been on +1 armor for an incredible amount of time. And it's not going to change anytime soon either. Finally clearing this out. And we'll retake this 4th base, but the writing is on the wall. Base down here at the bottom right, uncontested, and he just scouts that now. He just saw it with the Ling there. And so this is ultra painful. Triple battlecruiser coming into this base. Let's take a look at the kills here. That's a very nice flag. 10 kill battlecruiser though is absolutely brutal. And he wasn't even able to get the Hydra covered with the Dark Swarm, so these can continue to be annoying as heck. Doesn't have a Hydralisk upgrades at all thus far, so he's definitely having a bad time. Drones get sent back here to the natural, and GG is called. Looks like he's sending a drone down there. Not sure what that's about, but he has to tap out. There it is, boys. SOO loses 3 games in a row versus sSak. We've still got one more, though. Will the suffering ever end? Let's go find out. Game number 4 with sSak. Over in the top left. SOO center right. Once again on Dominator. Ready for another beatdown potentially here. Or will SOO be able to make a comeback? 11 hatchery this time. Wanting to be a little bit on the safe side. He's going to spot the barracks first. Barracks expand out of sSak. Means he could have gotten away with a 12 hatch here, but albeit with a little bit of Marine pressure. As it stands, 11 hatch. Makes another couple of drones. Look at that. Makes some more drones here after spotting the front. And then goes into spawning pool of gas. Trying to get a little bit more greedy. Even after opening the 11 hatch. And so, I mean, there is going to be some potential for pressure here. He could send Marines across the map initially and build a bunker. And that would force, you know, some reaction out of SOO. You can force him to, you know, make some extra Lings to pull drones to try and fight this. You can see he's already pulled 1 drone to make sure that the SCV will not make the bunker uncontested, but could do more. Could try to get more. Spawning pool is done. Just one pair of Lings. 1 pair of Lings is being made. And so he will start to build this bunker. And as the bunker is built, this Marine comes up to start to defend that. Drone's getting some very good move attacking going here. Excuse me. That movement from SOO. Excellent. Can he target down the drone? He will get 1. Can he get inside the bunker? Not at all. Both of those Marines go down as the bunker finishes. So the worst case scenario here for sSak. Losing both of the Marines, getting none of them in the bunker, and having the bunker finished so he can't cancel. There is no reclaim in this game, unlike Starcraft 2. That bunker costs the full 100 and will not be able to cancel. Marines out here on the front, just holding this position on the high ground. Beat that with 2 lings, by the way. 2 lings only. So that loss of 1 drone, actually, I would say SOO is in a very good spot now. SOO did a little bit of a greedy opener, 11 hatch, and then built 2 more drones before throwing down the pool and the gas. Bit greedy there, allowed him to go into a 2.5 hatch, and then only made 2 lings and lost 1 drone. This is some good stuff. All this math is adding up to a pretty reasonable position once again with the +1. SOC sticking with his guns, doing what's worked so far. But I'm liking the spot here for SOO. I think this is his best chance to take a win. The way that this opener has gone, certainly favoring him for the moment, but we've seen SOC slip through the defenses and find openings that SOO was unable to cover. Adding those barracks on now. Gonna be going into a 4-racks play behind this. No surprise there at all. I think anyone could have expected that sort of play from him. And so SOC starting to move out. This time, no sunken colony ahead of time. He's gonna start it now, but he's gonna find out here in a moment that he doesn't need it. Of course, if the bio just continues to walk across the map, yes, you do need that. However, with the lings here as extra, put an extra defense, you can slow this down. And yeah, SOC gonna have to turn that around. No 2 ways about it, man. You cannot push this, not with the +1 build. This is 2 racks. That's a different story, but here, oh, Marine's trying to get on top of this. My God, the Marine, absolute Terminator Marine, is gonna just dodge around here with the medic, helping him out. Usually you would be able to win that fight. 3 Marines on 1, 3 lings on 1 Marine being healed by a medic, but because of the movement there, just not allowing all 3 lings to hit at the same time, he manages to win that little skirmish, and it is now making their way across the map. A base being taken down here. Honestly, I don't see many players go for that base. Kind of atypical, but I think it'll be okay here. Just need to defend the bottom of the ramp, which can be a little harder. And then also when you try to take your 4th, you have to push up a ramp in order to get that natural, which could prove problematic. It remains to be seen though. It'll depend on the game state and what exactly is going on at the particular moment. Muta's now out in force, looking for these trades. Not able to find anything here just yet. Marine number is growing, of course, and factory has already started. 7-minute factory. Timing looking quite good. We'll see what type of game plan SOC opts for this time. Is he going to do what he did on Radion and just only make vessels? Try to stifle, or excuse me, on Eclipse. Try to stifle out the Zerg player. It's a bit of a different situation here, as it's not clear that Hydralis Defiler is what he's going for. He's got the transition on the way. I don't see an Evo chamber just yet, but that should be coming up here soon. Certainly wouldn't want to miss out on that. Evo chamber, very important to mix in right around this time. As last game, you know, that was a bit of a different situation, but he really had a hard time without those extra upgrades keeping up with the Terran, and the Carapace falling that far behind. Usually it is a death sentence. Unless you're, you know, light years ahead, you're able to get a move like completely clearing out the main base of the Terran, or just getting on top of the production. Generally, just trading with them out in the open is going to go worse and worse as the upgrade advantage kind of ramps up. It gets harder and harder to deal with. There's the Evo chamber. Going to be on the wane now. Still a little poke and prod here and there, but only killed about one SCV this entire time. So focusing more heavily on droning has actually given him a very good economy to start this thing off. So 38 drones. In fact, SOC has halted worker production, so he's going to get ahead in overall worker count. Can he transition? Can he translate that advantage into a win, though? It's tough because the Terran is going to start to take control of this map. A tank push is coming. Very fantasy-esque tank push behind this as the science facility coming up, but it's not nearly, not even close to being ready here just yet. Lurkers being made over on the other side of the map. Might need to bring the lurkers out here to do a little bit of delay tactics because the Defiler mound is still a ways off and the tank push is coming. There's the triple tank and a dropship. Oh gosh, I hate this. As a Zerg, I hate this. As a viewer though, I love it. What he's gonna do is he's gonna send in the drop as the tank push is happening. So you're gonna be frantically either throwing down sunken colonies or getting a lurker or a defiler into position as the drop comes in and just, oh, okay, beautiful hold here. Yeah, bye-bye. Dropship is gone. That's what you would love to do as the Zerg player, but it's just a hard to pull off. Like, I think that SOC would have been much better served just keeping the dropship back for another minute. Wait until the tanks are set up here and all of the attention is brought to the front. At that point, then it's a great idea. Oh God, so much damage from the first initial shots there. Oh man, this is really scary still, even after killing off the dropship. Even after the dropship completely failed. Oh wow, these tanks are doing so much damage, guys. Look at this Bioforce off to the side even. Hasn't brought everything together here, but he's still crushing this. One of these lurkers is mega low, and I think that this is just it. You're not going to be able to hold this. Defiler's going to pop out, and it'll have nothing to protect. Yeah, everything is going down here. It doesn't even need the irradiate. The natural is cooked. All these lurkers are going to die. The mutas try to come up to fight this, but the upgrades are fantastic, and that 1-1 is going to push right on through. This looked like an excellent attack from SOC, but it could have been even better had he utilized that dropship a little bit better. You know, fly it around the side here, wait for the commitment into the natural, and then slide in the drop and land back here. It's insane how hard that is to deal with. It is so difficult to deal with, and so easy to pull off. All you need to do is walk up and just siege, and then stand there with the Marines, and then when the mutas are over here, just, you know, click the drop into the base, click unload, and let the Marines do their work. Maybe hit a stim as they unload, but it's not even really that necessary. You're just going to be drawing so much attention from the Zerg player. Here is a attempt to retake the third or the natural. I really thought that he would just tap out. He might tap out after these irradiates. Yeah, the irradiates are so brutal. So brutal in a situation like this. Fully switched over now into fire bats. Lots of fire bats. 5 fire bats at a time are popping out, and it's a great choice. Fire bats in a situation like this are so tough to deal with. You have to build lurkers. You just can't really afford it. You can see his money is so incredibly low. He's just trying to get these upgrades. I'm surprised he's doing double upgrade. I feel like double upgrade is just completely unaffordable at this point. Firebat's making their way down to this base. He's got Lings and a Sunken to try and deal with that. And I gotta say, it's looking kind of over. Defiler finally gonna pop out here. There it is. He has a Defiler to do something with. He's gonna bring it through, but he's relying on a pittance, a tiny little army to try and hold this area. If anything goes wrong here, he's just going to die. If everything goes right, he might be able to survive in a bad position. That's how brutal this situation is now. If everything goes perfectly, it's still going to be an insanely long slog to ever think about a comeback in this game for SOO. SOO just hampered in every single way in the fire bats. I mean, you could just go, you know, double, triple D-Matrix fire bat and just break this right here, right now. That would be probably the best way to just end this game. Unfortunately, Defiler eats the Irradiate. Dark Swarms are thrown down. But, I mean, this is the best he can do. What is this Dark Swarm here? It's just such a spot, guys. Here comes the double Irradiate, getting rid of both of these lurkers. A couple more lurkers have been made. Well, one more lurker has been made. He can pop another lurker through the Nidus, perhaps, to try and save, but again, you're barely hanging on at this point. 88 supply is extremely tough. Two more vessels over here. Starting to stack up 6 total. 6 vessels. About every minute of real time. In-game time runs a little bit faster, but in-game or real time, every minute another 6 units can be irradiated down and killed. So long as he doesn't get hit by these Scourge. Another good plague comes down. Definitely what he needs to stay in this game. Keep himself alive for a little bit longer. Just keep hitting these plagues. It'll be hard for SOC to break through anywhere if he's all plagued. But it's also nearly impossible for Soma, or for SOO, excuse me, again, Soma. For SOO to break up onto this high ground, it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a heck of a lot. We're sitting here kind of waiting for that. Another couple of starports coming online in the meantime. Battlecruisers coming up here, and Restoration on the way. You'll love to see it. A lot of battlecruisers are going to be made, and Restoration is going to be able to remove that plague from the battlecruisers, which, I mean, it doesn't even bring the battlecruisers to no HP on its own. You need to multiple plagues. You have to have multiple plagues to bring the battlecruisers down to 3 or 1 HP or whatever. Lings coming up here. Cannot afford to be losing these. Kind of letting them go to the wayside. +2 armor is done. So doing a good job of keeping up with the upgrades at least. Like I was saying, it's pretty surprising he was keeping double upgrades going, but now that they've started to come online, maybe there's a possibility with that. Maybe he can make something happen. I don't see it happening. I don't think it's a possibility. Some restoration. Restoration of 6 HP science vessel is kind of funny. That is what it is. Another good plague there. More radiates going down. The Link's ready for a counterattack, but there's way too much stuff there at the rally point, holding him back. Still making a few Defilers at a time and just trying to get maximum value out of them to somehow bring it to a good position. Gonna get a pretty good trade here with a lot of these plagued Marines, but the Firebats are just crushing, guys. Just pure Firebat is winning this fight. All right, now that the Firebats are gone, the Lings will seize the day. Managed to kill off all of that. A lot of medics over here, too. Not sure why the medics walked over there, but got a lot of strong, independent women going their own way. It is what it is. They are now going to retreat back home to the hearth and to the Marines' protection. +3 is now done. +3 armor is not quite there. +3 armor here. Trying to do it with Lings and Defilers alone. It's possible. It's possible he gets his 4th base on the line, but we're 5 minutes too late. A good 5 minutes too late for this 4th base to actually become a factor. You can see gas is about to run out over here in this main. Not looking too hot, that's for sure. Trying to shove forward here once again. Getting on top of some of this stuff and getting rid of it, but the army making its way into the natural is scary. One single ultra, the only one he's been able to make so far, and is gonna die for free. He needed that for the fire bats. The fire bats really can't do much damage against that, and so having that ultra in the mix would have made things a lot easier, but now, I mean, he's just gonna push through. Dark Swarm here doesn't make a difference because the fire bats are so powerful. That's a 5-kill fire bat, 6-kill fire bat, and it's gonna get even worse. 8-kill fire bat here at the back line. Looks like it does finally die. Fire bats have been dealt with, but he can easily go into a spot here into the corner where there's no... Oh yeah, and there's the eraser trick to end things off. GG is called. Plenty of kills on these two vessels as sSak takes a moment here to relish in his victory. 4-0 versus SOO. Not what I was expecting at all. It turns out that sSak does not suck today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little ladder series. We're going to keep our eye on SOO and see how he develops. It'll be funny if SOO eventually becomes like a Soul Key level player. I mean, from his performance in Starcraft 2, I'd say that's not likely, but it is a possibility. That's something that could happen. It would be funny to see this series now and then watch SOO, you know, dominate in an ASL someday in the future and just see the contrast and the level of overall improvement of this great Zerg player. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.